Hi, everyone. My name is Dawn Hawkins. I'm the Executive Director of Morality and Media. I direct a number of anti-pornography campaigns, and I just wanted to share with you my experience from the weekend.
Let me take a wild guess and assume that your weekend didn't include any porn watching and probably no sex.
I'm kind of emotional about it still, so bear with me.
So you hate porn as much as this girl loves cats.
I love cats. Um, I just. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I love cats. I love every kind of cat. Sorry, I really love cats. And I just want to hug all of them, but I can't because that's crazy. I can't hug every cat. But I just want to. I want to. I want to.
So I was heading to Texas from DC. I was asked to speak at a conference about the links between pornography and sex trafficking. And I boarded my flight in Baltimore at 6 a.m. on Friday, only to find that the man sitting in front of me was looking at pornography on his iPad. Of all people to be sitting in front of, he was right in front of me.
So if he'd been sitting behind you, none of this would have happened.
I was speechless. I was stunned. I didn't know what to say. I could not believe he was looking at pornography right there on the airplane at 6 a.m. in the morning. Um, so I sat back for enough time for him to flip through about 8 images.
You were so upset you didn't know what to do. So you spied on the guy. You watched his porn.
They were all of very, very young girls. I couldn't tell if they were 14 or 18. They were definitely young.
You not knowing whether the girls in the pictures that he was looking at were 14 or 18 didn't stop you from titling your video "Man Watched Video of Child Pornography and No One Cared." And later on in this video, you'll say that it was most likely child porn, even though you say that you can't yourself tell.
And they were all Asian, and a couple of the photographs were very violent in nature. One of them even had one girl whipping the other girl with a whip.
For someone that works to stamp out porn, you sure as hell don't seem to know what very violent porn is, because a picture of one girl like with a whip and another girl like getting whipped with the whip is not really that violent, especially compared to some of the crazier shit out there, obviously like snuff films. I'm sure that makes you just lose your shit if you were to see someone watching a snuff film. But one picture of two Asian girls that you don't know their age, one having a whip and the other one getting whipped, is not really all that violent.
Um, as soon as I gathered myself, I couldn't help it. I definitely said something. Somewhat loudly, I asked him if he was really looking at pornography at that time. I said, is that really pornography? Are you looking at pornography right now on this airplane? Are those girls even 18? Is that child pornography? I was making a fairly big deal about it, and everyone seemed to be looking at us.
So you use the classic anti-pornography angle. You don't actually have any good arguments. So what you do is you just try and shame people that look at porn. You try and make them feel guilty. Because that's the only way that you can get people to fucking agree with you. Because you don't actually have a decent argument for why porn is bad. You just link all these like causations together, like porn leads to rape, porn leads to sex trafficking and all this other bullshit. I mean, that's the conference you're going to speak at right now, right? How porn leads to sex trafficking, sex slaves. You're a fucking idiot with shitty arguments. No wonder you have to sit there and just make a scene and embarrass the poor motherfucker in order to, I don't know, get him to stop watching porn, because now he'll never watch porn again because you were a huge bitch to him. Now that he'll change his ways. Are you fucking kidding me?
The guy said, "You don't know what you're talking about."
He's right. Even you admit it. You don't. You said Is that porn you're looking at? As if it's a question, as if you didn't know. You don't know the age of the girls, yet you feel like you can accuse him of looking at child porn too. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He is absolutely right.
He was still holding the iPad right in front of him, and I said, I do. I can see your screen right now. You're looking at porn.
I know the Amazing Atheist beat me to the reply punch on this video, but I really did have this video already saved on my computer, and I was going to make a response to it. I've just been really sick. So he made a good point here, and that's if someone's sitting in front of you on a plane, you don't just have a clear view of their iPad, especially if they're holding it in their lap. You really have to make an effort to see what's on there. I doubt the guy was holding it up so that the bitch could clearly see it from her seated position. She had to have been looking over his shoulder, purposely trying to see what the fuck he's looking at. And then she gets upset at what she sees. Well, you asked for it, bitch.
And I turned around. There was a flight attendant right behind me, a male flight attendant, and I said to him, Sir, this man is looking at pornography. Will you please do something about it? The flight attendant just stood there. He did nothing. He said there was nothing that he could do. He could have just asked the man to put it away and to not look at it. I was astounded. I couldn't believe that he refused to do anything, especially because it was making me and other passengers so uncomfortable. And I'm sure that it was making the other passengers uncomfortable as well.
You know what I'm sure of? I'm sure that the other passengers on the plane didn't want a big scene made. They wanted to mind their own fucking business. Because when you're stuck on a plane for hours on end with a bunch of fucking strangers, the last thing you want is one stranger telling another stranger what they can and cannot do and accusing them of things like looking at child porn and creating a huge scene. And then you ask the flight attendant to do something, and what's he going to do? Sir, I'm going to have to confiscate your iPad because this crazy bitch thinks she saw something on it.
Anyway, the guy put it away. I was sitting there shaking. I was so upset. A few minutes later, I leaned forward and in a much quieter voice directed just at the man, I said to him, Sir, I'm heading right now to speak at a conference about pornography and sex trafficking. You're contributing to the problem. You're exploiting millions of women and children. You're creating the demand. You're the one contributing to all of this harm.
Yeah, because watching Debbie Does Dallas means that you're going to turn around, save up your money, and buy yourself a fucking 12-year-old sex slave from Guatemala, right? I mean, the fact that you can tie these things together just shows how weak your fucking argument actually is. Because it's obvious that everyone that watches porn does not go out and rape people. Everyone that watches porn does not go and buy a sex slave. Everyone that watches porn is not watching child porn. So what's your argument there?
And right then, a woman who was 2 rows up from us, she stood up and interrupted me, and she faced me and she said, she was probably in her 50s. She said, "Be quiet. No one cares."
Okay, let me get this story straight because you're so truthful about everything. You, after you made the scene, you sat by yourself for a second, calmed down, and then leaned forward and directly talked to the guy about why watching porn was wrong, right? And somehow, while you were just quietly talking to the guy directly in front of you, the lady 2 rows up from him can still hear you, and she's like, "Can you be quiet? Nobody fucking cares." Like, if you hadn't have said anything, I would just be totally fine sitting up here. But since you don't know how to entertain yourself other than to spy on people and look over their fucking shoulder and try and find something wrong with what they're doing, you want to make the scene. We don't want that. We just want a quiet fucking plane ride. Can you please shut the fuck up? Even this lady is asking you.
I could not believe that a woman of all people would stand up and tell me to be quiet. She didn't tell the man to stop looking at pornography. She didn't say anything about that. She just said no one cared that he was looking at pornography, what was likely child pornography, on the airplane, right in front of all of us. She said to just let it go.
You couldn't believe that a lady, because she's a woman and you're a woman, you have to agree on everything, right? Maybe it's never crossed your mind that there are a lot of female porn stars, and they're not gonna fucking agree with you that porn is bad and harmful. I'm sure there are some. There are all these ex-porn stars that are now born-again Christians talking about how terrible porn is. Whatever, whatever. You sound like an ex-smoker that can't stand cigarettes anymore. What really matters here is you sticking your nose in other people's business. That's what people want you to stop doing. You're like the crazy old little lady that she sees a Muslim get on an airplane and she starts like giving him the stink eye and starts talking to people about how that their terrorist is going to blow up this here plane. Nobody wants to hear your stupid crazy shit, lady. Same as nobody wants to hear your stupid shit, lady. They don't care. Oh, a guy looked at a fucking picture, and I don't know how it could have been really porn. I bet you in her mind it's like semi-nude or maybe topless or maybe fully nude, but in her mind that's porn. Nudity is porn, because she didn't say anything about like any dudes. It was all young Asian girls, and so I'm guessing that they weren't even having any kind of penetration. Just in this girl's mind, everything is so fucking horrifying. I bet you she takes a shower with her fucking bathing suit on.
Needless to say, I was speechless for the rest of the flight. I could barely control myself. I know everyone was looking at me. I felt a million emotions.
I find it amusing that you try and embarrass a guy who's looking at some pictures or porn or whatever on his iPad, and everyone ends up looking at you. You try and embarrass him, and you end up embarrassing your fucking self. And it's well deserved, you cunt.
Most of which were just disbelief and extreme sadness and hopelessness in the fight against pornography. I couldn't believe that a woman of all people, an older woman, wasn't on our side.
Oh, I see. Now old women have to be against pornography. Well, I mean, duh. Just like every old woman has to be against drinking, because there's no such thing as uh, old ladies that are open-minded or not complete bitches that try and put their nose in other people's fucking business, huh? Oh, no, that's you. Can you imagine this? If this girl young, can you imagine what she's gonna be like when she's older? She wants so badly to stick her nose in your shit. She's like, oh, let me smell how bad your shit is. Oh, and then let me tell you about it.
Didn't see anything wrong with the exploitation and degradation of women and likely children right then and there.
And there you go again with the child porn thing. Honestly, you admitted that you don't know whether it's child porn, but you keep bringing it up because I think even your story has no teeth for your side. It's entertaining for us, those of us that know you're full of shit, but it doesn't really have any teeth for your argument. So you keep throwing in this child porn thing to try and give it some teeth. You were sitting behind him and you couldn't even tell if it was child porn, right? But you're willing to accuse him of it and title it in your video and everything. And you expect us to believe you that it was child porn when you said you couldn't even tell.
We know that pornography is so addictive, and that man was likely very addicted to pornography. That's why he was looking at porn right then, that early. He couldn't help it.
I guess just like you couldn't help opening your fucking bitch mouth, right? You just couldn't help it. You're addicted to anti-pornography, right? You're addicted to anti-pornography, and you just couldn't help yourself but stick your nose in someone else's business and make a scene on the plane so that everybody fucking hates you. All these people that I'm sure they agreed with me. I'm sure they were uncomfortable. That's why they told me to shut the fuck up and mind my own fucking business.
I feel really bad for him. Part of me does. Just because I understand that he must be struggling with these urges, and I'm sure that he doesn't. He's not happy and he doesn't want that, but
Maybe the poor guy just can't get fucking privacy anywhere. Maybe this is his like 5th flight in the past fucking 20 hours and he can't get privacy any goddamn place. So when he thinks that he can just quietly at 6 in the fucking morning, he's hoping people will just be minding their own fucking business and he can have 1 minute to his goddamn self. And you don't know whether he was looking at porn or whether someone sent it to him in an email or what. You don't fucking know. You just assume and then stick your nose in his business, and then now you're assuming that he's just unhappy because you tried to embarrass him for looking at some pictures on his iPad. Are you fucking kidding me?
It hurt even more that a woman would tell me that people don't care about this. It's a danger to children. Pornography, it especially if kids were going to be exposed to it on an airplane.
I'm not sure if you know this or not, but I'll just inform you because you seem like a fucking complete retard. Um, Kids are a product of sex. You know, that stuff that pornography shows. You know, when a penis and a vagina like do this, and then the penis goes, and then this sperm comes out, and it goes, and one of them gets in the egg, and the woman comes pregnant. 9 months later, she gives birth to a child. Now, you see, the child is a product of fucking. Now, apparently the fucking is fine, but if you videotape the fucking, then we're in a whole new territory, and it's dangerous to children, especially on a plane. I mean, it's not so bad on a train, or in a car, or on a bus, but on a plane?
It is no place for pornography on an airplane. I feel like even most porn users would agree that pornography is no play. There's no place for pornography on an airplane.
The only reason I would even partially agree with you is because I like to jerk off when I watch porn. And I wouldn't be able to do that while sitting in my seat on an airplane. And here's something that'll really blow your mind, bitch. Someone probably fucked on that airplane. Someone probably joined the Mile High Club on that airplane that you're on right now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Does that make you want to cry? I get all emotional thinking about people having sex.
A wealth of research today demonstrates that pornography consumption is the leading cause for sexual violence and sexual assault.
No, what it is the leading cause of people like you that tie the two together. You see, there is rape and there is porn. Therefore, porn causes rape. You're complete fucking morons. You're like these Christians that think America would be perfect if it was a theocracy. There would be no crime and the economy would be perfect. You're complete fucking idiots. You live in la la land. If there was no porn, there would still be rape. There would probably be more rape because people don't have an outlet for their sexual desires. They can't just look at someone else having sex and they can't get it themselves. What are they gonna fucking do? Yeah, they don't have any money to pay for it. Oh, they go around raping people. And I know I sound like this bitch with retarded arguments that are a far stretch, but it needs to be done to show her how retarded she sounds.
This is a safety hazard also. In a public place as tight and small as an airplane, we can't have that. Um, I, I just wanted to share this experience with you all. Have you experienced pornography on an airplane? Is this a common danger to us? I, I mean, I'm involved every day in the fight against pornography, and I did not realize that there's a danger to us on airplanes in the United States.
I'm sorry, you're going to have to explain what the danger was there. What was the danger? Was he on the plane and he was looking at porn and you think that he was going to turn around and turn you into his sex slave or turn around and rape you? Is that what you fucking thought? That every woman on that plane was in danger of this wild man who looked at a picture with an Asian girl. Ooh, and one of them had a whip. You're all in fucking danger because this guy looked at a picture of a girl with whipping another girl. What huge danger. You know, I heard that if you look at porn on a plane, it destabilizes the wings and the engines have a higher tendency to fail. Oh, you didn't read that study?
Um, I got off the airplane and I reported it to a police officer who promised to investigate. He went to the man's next gate, especially because the likelihood of his child pornography was pretty high.
And there we go again with it's very, very high likelihood that this was child porn. She couldn't tell, but therefore it's a very high likelihood that it's child porn. Couldn't possibly be the fact that she's just this anti-porn crusader and has to make every bit of porn seem worse than it actually is. Couldn't be that. You know, let's call the cops on this dumb bitch because she's obviously on drugs. No sober, sane person acts like this and says these stupid things, right? So she's obviously either insane and needs to go to a sanitarium or she's on drugs and needs to be arrested. Somebody call the cops. Somebody please waste this police officer's time for this stupid bitch's petty war on porn, which is a war on people who watch porn. Fuck you.
But he said that if it was adult pornography, there was nothing that he could do because the Delta and many other airlines have no policy about this kind of content on their flights. Needless to say, airlines need to have a policy. It needs to be spelled out that obscenity and pornography is not allowed on the airplanes. This is a danger to all passengers, to flight attendants. It would be a very unhealthy working place.
How? How is it dangerous, and how does it make it an unhealthy working place? If you were in a restaurant and a guy 4 tables over was looking at porn and you didn't even know it, or if this guy had been sitting behind you instead of in front of you and you never even knew about it, you wouldn't have thought there was any danger or any that it was unhealthy in any fucking way. It's simply all in your head that, like, porn is dangerous. Porn is dangerous. You must have been a terrible lay in high school, and your boyfriend probably watched porn and jerked off because you were so fucking terrible, and it's left this bad taste in your mouth. And so now you just hate fucking porn. I can't imagine you having a boyfriend, and if you do, I feel so sorry for that motherfucker. Not only for being stuck with you, but for being someone that you would date, because that would obviously make him the biggest pushover pussy ever.
Workplace, that would be sexual harassment anywhere else.
When you're talking about the workplace, sexual harassment deals with employee to employee. If an employee shows, let's say a male employee shows a female employee porn, that's sexual harassment. If a male employee and a female employee are working at a place, let's say they're flight attendants, and a passenger on the flight looks at porn, that is not sexual harassment, especially when he's not harassing anybody. When the only person doing any harassing is you to him. You are harassing him. He wasn't doing anything. Fuck you for even trying to use the argument.
Anyway, I just wanted to share this with you. If you have experienced something similar, please let us know. We're no doubt going to investigate this further and work to get anti-pornography policies in place on airplanes, trying to make them a little bit safer in regards to the availability of porn and the exploitation of women. We have to stop this.
The exploitation of women, I love that part, because women exploit men for the sex. That's what it is. You know why they call prostitution the world's oldest profession? Because women who don't actually take money for sex, they still are prostitutes in a way. If a man provides for them, or he's a good father, or he puts food on the table, or back in the hunter-gatherer days, if a man was a good hunter or whatever, he provided for you, you traded that service that he provided with sex. That's the fucking way it goes. It's been like that for a long time, and now that there's video cameras, you freak the fuck out. I wonder how you felt staying at the hotel before your little conference. I wonder if at that hotel you could purchase regular movies for like $4 or $5, or pornos, and you can get those for like $8 or $9. I bet that blew your fucking mind. I bet you immediately went down and talked to the bellhop about how terrible this was and how he was and he wouldn't do anything. That bellhop, he wouldn't go and disable all of the porn for all of the rooms because you complained. What is this? We need to change hotel policy across America.
You can email us at grassroots@pornharms.com. And again, I work for Morality and Media. We direct the war on illegal pornography, and pornharms.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Well, you're not hoping that hard because you disabled comments on your fucking video. So you really don't care about hearing from anyone, especially if they disagree with you. You only care about hearing people that agree with you. You, I'm sure, won't bother to watch any of the response videos made to you because we're just terrible men. I'm a porn watcher. Fucking knuckle dragging, mouth breathing because I like to see people fuck when I jerk off. There's one thing you can feel safe in, bitch. You can feel safe that no one will be jerking off to you, okay? Don't worry about that. Coctopus out.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about cats again.